Zidane, Electro Ninja here, and welcome back to Nerd Chat here on Electro Ninja's Lab. I am here with my fellow host,
I'm Jack.
and today we are going to be talking about Legends ZA as well as Pokemon Pokopia. Or Pokopia? One of the two?
Pokopia.
Pokopia. Let's say Pokopia. But yeah, we're gonna start off by talking about Legends ZA. I have fully finished the game. Jack is currently at rank E, having a bit of difficulty with Halucha, right? Or have you?
Yep.
Yeah, Halucha was challenging, but yeah, and also you're doing other things as well, so that's fine. Um, but yeah, I thought we would specifically talk about. First, I'd like to get our thoughts on it. Um, so I've talked extensively about my thoughts on like gameplay and stuff, in like live streams and stuff. Jack, what are your some of your thoughts, especially with gameplay? We don't really want to talk too much about story because there probably still be some. Yeah.
I really like it. I think um, they did a good job with the mechanics. They kept the ones that we liked, like being able to throw Pokeballs without battling and other things like that. And there are others that they added, like the battle mechanics where you can move around and do all of that stuff while battling. And I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
So overall, I like it.
Yeah. That's fair. Um, there are a few things that I kind of feel would be helpful when it comes to the uh, with the combat mechanics and such.
Uh
One
huh.
is being able to access the abilities even if you're not selecting something. Specifically, so that you can activate like smoke screen and other abilities, because currently you can't do that. Um, and I'm not saying that they should add that for this specific one, but maybe like in a future ZA game, you don't have to necessarily target something in order to activate certain abilities. Um, but I'm not 100% certain if they will be doing that. But I do have to say I really do love. I do like the way that it works. One other thing that I think, the other reason why I think that it would be good to be able to activate buttons without necessarily targeting something is for shielding abilities. Um, Specifically, like if we think about like protect or reflect and all those other things, we're not able to activate them at any point in time, which, especially when you're at a distance, abilities that will set up a temporary shield that will basically last for a long time, such as I think let's see, what are the, I think it's just reflect and I think safeguard is also one. There's a few different ones. I don't remember all of them. But yeah, uh, obviously abilities like protect, King's Shield, for Aegislash, and um, for what is Chestnut's ability? Spiky Shield. These abilities, like being able to activate them when a Pokemon is doing dig, would be so freaking helpful. Um, because like if you're gonna be hit by dig, be able to activate that ability would be really helpful. And same thing goes for like boss fights and stuff like that. um I think that one thing that they should do is, especially protect, is being able to activate that wouldn't just activate it for the Pokemon, but would also be able to activate it for the trainer.
Oh my gosh, protecting the trainer would be so nice.
Yeah, because like sure we've got the canary plushes. If you haven't gotten those yet, which one is it? Is it green? Yeah. So the green canary plushes will help you out with if you're taking damage, you'll be less likely to black out. Um,
That's good. I don't know if I have that one yet.
yeah, you should probably if you're having difficulties with it, I would absolutely recommend it. But also you need to be really good at dashing. Um, Dodging, running, all those things. I didn't really need the I don't really need the green canary plush until I was facing off against Zygarde. But
Mm,
if you do have difficulty, especially with dodges, um, then having the green canary plushes are extremely helpful. Um, because yeah, you're when you do roll, you are immune to whatever hit is coming. So even if you're like centered on an earthquake, you dash and you're technically still within the earthquake zone. As you're dashing, you are still safe from the earthquake. So
that's good.
it's like that's just some things. Like obviously there are certain aspects of that that you need to be you just need to get good with it, but having the ability to do certain things like that, um, and that's one of the reasons why I would like to see it in the main game in ZA as like a small update. Be able to activate King's Shield and or like protect or whatever, and be able to activate that without necessarily having to target someone while also protecting my trainer would be extremely helpful. Um, so that's my big thing with with combat. One thing as well that I would like to see, and this is something that I would like to see in a future game. If they are going to keep um, with this mode, instead of specifically controlling the trainer and moving about, I would like to be able to control the Pokemon. Um, and this would probably not be happening like when you're out and about and facing off against wild Pokemon or whatever. But like for trainer battles, um, if you're going into like a gym or something, and then you would specifically control the Pokemon and you'd be able to run around as the Pokemon. Um, that would be something that I would see as being a nice little functionality. Obviously, with trainer battles in this game, your trainer will not actually take damage from it, from any abilities. Um,
Which, thank God, honestly.
yeah, but having that a little bit of extra maneuverability when you are doing like big trainer battles, especially like gyms and the Elite Four and the Champion, being able to specifically control your Pokemon, um, I think that would be extremely helpful. And maybe in that mode, um, you would just have all of the access to your abilities. And I don't know exactly how that would turn out, but I think that could be really fun. Um, and maybe like when you activate, say, a melee attack, you do briefly lose control of the Pokemon as it runs up to do its ability, but then you're able to take back control once it's completed the ability. I'm not certain exactly how it would play out, but those are like just some immediate thoughts. I'm sure that I'm not a game developer, but those are some of the ways that I would improve it. Um, but as for features that I would like to see in the game itself be added, um, mounts. Being able to, or not necessarily even just mounts, but being able to interact with your Pokemon while they're out. Um, let's say so right now you can obviously bring out your Pokemon and blah 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 blah. They'll run around with you, um, but they just phase through you and they run around with you. Um, but what I would like to be able to do is while you are looking at them, you're able to like press A, and then you're able to like pet the Pokemon and they have like some happy reaction. Um, or
That would be cute. That would be a throwback to the DS where you could like
yes,
pet it and wash
exactly.
and play with the Pokemon. That'd be cute.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be like super complicated. I think like it would they already have like a happy every Pokemon already has a happy reaction. So what it could literally be is you basically put your hand out and you're petting them. Maybe like a few different hand positions for how you pet them. And then they just do their little happy dance. And that's it. Like I'd be fine with that. I think that would be a fun little way to handle it. You can see that like I'm specifically talking about like the happy dance when they're just like out and about in your when you're taking pictures. And that's basically all it would be. It's nice and simple, and I think that it would be fun. Um, but yeah, and then for certain Pokemon, um, when you interact with them, I think that you should be able to mount up on them. I have a few specific ones that I have as examples. Um, Metagross is one. A lot of the flying type Pokemon. I can see Charizard happening. Um, Various different ones that would basically allow you to fly or ride around on them. And what I could see it being is that when you're like on the like at first it could just be like, oh yeah, you can run around, but later on you should be able to take to the sky and fly around, and various different Pokemon would have various different abilities. So, like for an example, Metagross would be able to change into its flight mode, and you'd be able to fly up into the air, up onto the rooftops and such. Um, I don't think maybe some Pokemon are able to climb up. I'm not 100% certain which ones I would specifically do with that. And then obviously the ones that are specifically grounded, so like Camerupt, Skiddo, and whatchamadoodle, Go-Goat, Skiddo and Go-Goat, and various other, maybe even Houndoom, various different ones that are on the ground that have been ridden before. They'll just be able to be ridden around, and I would say they should, at their standard speed, they should be a little bit faster than when you run, and then you could also activate their speed form, and then it's even faster, because it does take a little while to get across the city. It's not extremely bad, but it's just something that that can be a little bit annoying. Um, but yeah, those are just some little bits and pieces that I would like to see added for like, uh, yeah, just things that would make me happy. Let's leave it at that. They don't have to do these things. Obviously, the game is fine with its current maneuverability, but at the same time, like, I would like to be able to move faster than just running. And yeah, there was one other thing that I would like to, but I'm forgetting what it was. Frick, I think what was it? I know there was something that I specifically wanted to see. Um, oh, more buildings, more interiors to certain buildings. Um, because how many buildings have you noticed that have interiors so far?
Not a lot.
Exactly. So, I think in total there are 4 buildings. I think. Let me see if I wait. So there's that one. That's not on the map. That's the second one. 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. 6 if we don't include the restaurants, and then there's 10 if we do include the restaurants. And I'm not counting Lysander's Cafe, and I'm not counting the sewers. But yeah, that's all of the ones that have interiors, I think. Or I think I counted that right. Because let's see. So so there's Hotel Z. There is the there's like this one little building that you deal with when you're dealing with the Rust Syndicate. You have the Rust Syndicate's headquarters. Oh, I miscounted. So yeah, I definitely miscounted. There is Racine Construction. So that's 4. Then there is Quasarco. The Looker Bureau. And I think that's it. right? Yeah,
I think that's it.
yeah. Oh no, I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I forgot the Lumios Museum and Hotel Rishime, however that's pronounced. Those are both in the northern corner. Those are important later. Um, so yeah, there's a few buildings, and then there's obviously the restaurants. Restaurant Lana, Restaurant La Yeah, Restaurant La Wow, and the Sushi High Roller. And then obviously there's Lysander Cafe and the two sewer entrance, or technically three sewer entrances, but it's two different sewers. So yeah. Um, but I don't. There are interiors. I'm not gonna say that there aren't, because that would be dumb. But yeah, there's not many. Is my point. And also the Pokemon Research Lab. I forgot. But yeah, so not many. But I would like to see more interiors. I think so. There are a few buildings that we specifically know are important. For one, there is the Bank of Kalos, and over near Wild Zone 8 is City Hall. And neither of those can you enter, and yet there's like very clearly marked as like, hey, these are important places, and yet for whatever reason we just never go in there. Um, and that just feels odd to me. Um, I'm not certain why they decided to do that, but it was. I feel like they could definitely give those to have some interior. One of the things that I could see them doing for the bank is since it's the big bank of Kalos, it could be a nice little place where maybe trainers from throughout. Yeah, it's the Bank of Kalos. So various different trainers that we got to see throughout the story of X and Y could probably just show up every now and again. And maybe there's like a battle arena, and they're able to like give you like a large sum of money because they're like some of the most famous trainers in the Kalos region. Um, and they're like, "Cool, you found me. You found me here while I was doing this something important. Um, here's a boatload of money. I don't know. I'm not saying that it should be like a massive amount, but it could be more money than you can get from any other battles. Um, and so like we could see the champion, we could see the Elite Four, all of the gym leaders besides Karina, because Karina's going to be involved in the DLC. Um, but yes, various different things like that could happen. Maybe like maybe we'll see like some cool people at the town hall or whatever would be nice. But yeah, those are like I said, the various different things that I would like to see as like little improvements to the gameplay. Maybe like some small amount of the city of the area outside the city would also be nice, but I'm not necessarily begging for that compared to especially since we're going to be getting more areas anyways with the DLC. Granted, it is still going to be within the city, but it's still there's more areas. So, yeah. Um, but yeah, what are some of your thoughts on all that?
Um, I would like more indoor buildings. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, what else? I just forgot everything you said because that's who I am as a person. So that's great.
Mounts.
Oh,
Interacting with your
mounts
Pokemon.
would be cool. I really wish we had roller skates. That would have been a really good throwback to X and Y.
Yeah.
That would have been really cool. If not a bike, but a bike is in every game, I feel like,
Yeah.
or was in every game.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why Scarlet and Violet didn't do the bike was because it's just like We've seen it. We're done. We're tired. Give us the actual Pokemon being able to ride around on them. Alola also did that. Um,
Yeah,
so, yeah, I loved those mounts. I loved being able to ride around on your Pokemon. I think that uh, Let's Go also gave us Pokemon to ride around on.
I
So,
think you're right. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I would love to see more being able to ride around on our Pokemon, um, especially the Pokemon that we have caught. Um, would be fantastic, especially like imagine being able to ride around on your shiny Go-Go or whatever. um,
That would be dope.
it would be so dope. And yeah, various different things like that. um, oh, there's actually two other things that I was thinking about. um, Being able to summon more than one Pokemon at a time.
Like do a double battle type of thing.
Not necessarily a double battle type thing, but like having them run around with you would be, I think, would be fun.
Oh, like just letting one more than one out of the ball.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that in wild zones and on roofed, I think it makes sense why we can't, because obviously there are Pokemon and there are the freaking uh, gems and all of that jazz. But here's my solution, though, for what they could do. The Pokemon that you have selected is the Pokemon that you are able to control with your ZL button
Hmm.
in order to do certain attacks. Um, but maybe when you hit R, because currently R doesn't do anything in any way, shape, or form. But if you have like multiple Pokemon that are out, you can hit R, and like all of your Pokemon will basically go out and start battling. They'll target the nearest crystals. They'll target the nearest Pokemon, and they'll just like do the simple auto attacks that we had like in Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think that would be the most reasonable thing. Um, Obviously, it would be a little bit challenging. Um, maybe they just will hang back with you, no matter what you do, because it would just be insane to be able to do that. But getting them to be able to walk around with you would just be so much fun to just have them out with you as you're wandering the city. Maybe when you are in like a battle zone or a wild area or on rooftops, they would not be. You could only have one out, to basically be a safeguard against some of that stuff. Um, and especially when you're up on rooftops or in battle zones or in wild areas, there's not that much space. So having only one in those specific areas, it makes sense. But like when you're wandering throughout the rest of the city, being able to have all of your Pokemon out with you, I think that would be fun. Um, and then lastly, last thing that I would like to add before we actually start delving into the DLC and junk. Um, I would like to be able to actually be able to play with your friends. At this point in time, all that we can do with Link Play is ranked battles, private battles, link trade, mystery gift, and that's it. Titles, kind of, but that's separate. But yeah, if you want to play with other players, it's basically, do you want to do one of the two types of battles, or do you want to trade? And that's it. Which is just like, come on. I'd like to be able to do some more stuff with that. I want to be able
Yeah,
to
for
run.
sure.
I want to be able to run around with my friends. I can kind of understand a little bit as to why they wouldn't do that, and that is, if you are at a point in the game where one of you so for example, I have up through Wild Zone 20 unlocked. You are you don't what is the highest one that you have currently?
I think 13.
13? Okay. So yeah, if I go to like Wild Area 14 and I'm like surrounded by all these Pokemon, are you going to see them? What exactly is going to happen there? That's weird. I understand that, and like one of the reasons why I think that they might have specifically waited on that was to allow people to actually finish the game. And what they might do to basically counteract that is that it might be an option that only unlocks once you have gotten all the way to Wild Zone 20 and have unlocked everything. Because Wild Zone 20 isn't unlocked until the end of the game. And until you are in the post game. And then nothing else really changes. So being able to play around with your friends, wandering the city together, I think that would be a reasonable thing. The other reason I don't think that they would do it, that they haven't done it specifically, is because of the benches and how you're able to control time. If you sit on a bench, you're able to skip to night or skip to day. But there's a simple answer to that, and that is multiple people sitting on benches. So, for an example, if I were to go to a bench, say, kill some time, and hang out until nightfall, and I said yes, it would then have me sit, and then say, it would say near the bottom of the screen, waiting for other players to sit, waiting for other
Like
players.
Minecraft.
Yes, exactly, like Minecraft. And then on your screen, if you're playing with me, it'll say someone wants to pass the night, and that's it. That's all it has to be. So yeah, waiting for other players for the people who are sitting. Waiting. Someone wants to pass the night for people who aren't sitting. And that's it. That's all that it would have to be. And then once everyone is sitting, then it passes the night. Obviously, there are certain things that would have to. There are certain limits with that and challenges, but I think that would be the most reasonable way to go about it. But yeah, like Minecraft. So it already exists in another game. So that is why I think that they should be able to do it. I think the biggest limiting factor is the wild areas, though. Like I said, because certain if someone is starting is near the beginning of the game and someone is near the end of the game, they're going to have different wild areas. So maybe it has to be something like both players must have all wild areas unlocked in order to play together, or something like that. Holy shit. Sorry. Wild random shiny. Random wild shiny.
Ooh, what is it?
Scrafty. And I got it. Nice. Okay. Yeah. So those are just some things. Obviously, none of these things have been confirmed. None of these things are. A lot of these things. My big thing with that is, hey, Pokemon, listen to these little things that I've been saying, and maybe think about them for the future games, or if you are, or hey, if this could be in the DLC already, please do so, because I really would like to see these things activated. But yeah. Also, I would like to briefly discuss a few things. So, we like the game, right?
Yeah.
Why are so many people complaining about the frickin' flatness of buildings? I do not understand that.
I mean, they're flat, but no flatter than any other buildings in Pokemon.
Yeah. And the other thing, so I actually have two things that I feel are important to realize about the flatness of them. One, they're really not that flat. Like, the only time that you really notice how flat they are is when you're right up next to them. When you're a decent distance, they look like 3D models. And it's not even like you have to be I don't know, 10 feet. You don't have to be across the what I don't know how what's a good distance as an example. I can't even see. It's not 50. It's 10, even 10. 10 markers, and you're like, oh yeah, I can see the 3D ish, which is not much. It really isn't. So I don't understand why people are complaining so heavily about it. Like I said, I can even really close up, even if I'm like on the edge of the like if I'm on the street on the street side of the sidewalk, I can still see the 3D ishness, and I like it. I think that it's a really well designed thing, and the thing that they have to think about with this with making a 3D model for every single building is like that's also all the ledges. Like I'm like one of the things that really freaks me out about it is that like imagine if every single one of these places was fully 3D modeled, and you're like coming off you come off a building, and you as you fall, you hit every single ledge. That would be so annoying for players. And I think that's the big reason why they chose not to have them 3D models. Because if it was 3D, that would be so freaking annoying. At least in my opinion. With like controls and jazz. But yeah. Honestly, I have very few complaints about the game. Most of my complaints are just like, hey, yeah, I'd like to see this get added. They've done a lot of really good things with this game. So yeah. But yeah, we should probably talk about some. There is one thing though that I do have some complaint about, and that is, let's talk about winning the Megastones. So for the DLC, we are going to be getting Baxcaliburite through the ranked battles. Currently, we have in the first season we had Greninjite. In the second season, we had both Delphoxite and Greninjite, which is what we're currently in. And then in the next season, we're gonna have between the Delphox thing and the Baxcalibur thing is gonna be whatchamadoodle, Chestnutite. So how do you feel about real quick, I want to hear your thoughts on how you feel about the ranked battles and the fact that that's the only way to get the Megastones.
I don't mind it.
You don't mind it? Okay. I had a lot of people, I've heard so many people complaining about this, and I think it's reasonable because a lot of people do not want to play online battles at all. Which is fair. I completely understand not wanting to do that. Very few people have completed them. For you, what have you done so far?
Nothing.
You have done nothing, right? Okay. And the ranked battles are not really challenging, and especially with what they've done lately, they have improved it significantly. However, there is some things that I do not think that it should be the only way to get these Megastones. What I am hoping that they will do is when the DLC launches, there will be a free update to the game that will allow the player that will allow the players to get all 3 of the Megastones from the previous 3 seasons. Because we know that Baxcaliburite is coming with season 3, or with season 4, sorry. And that's going to be with the DLC. So all 3 Megastones from that were in the base game seasons, they should be available for every player to just purchase. Whether that be through the Stone Emporium or be through Quasartico. Either option I think is fine. But they need to be available for players to actually get. Because the current method is, well, to be put bluntly, it can be annoying. and I know a lot of people were not happy about it. Um, I'm fine with it because I actually do like the combat for it, but I also understand a lot that people do not like it. And then once whatever megastones that they're doing for the DLC seasons, they need to become available once the seasons are over. What I imagine that they're probably going to do is at some point they're just gonna they're gonna turn the ranked from being a ranking system to being an infinite battle system. So you will be able to just go in and you will fight whoever is available. Um, because eventually the game is gonna stop being kept up to date. They're not going to be doing seasons anymore because they're going to be wanting to go into the next game, whatever that is, with Gen 10. So every single one of these Megastones, there needs to be another way to get them. They cannot be stuck in the season stuff because it's going to infuriate people. Um,
That's fair.
so what what I am thinking that they should do is when they release, so like I said, when the DLC releases, have the first 3 Megastones be available somewhere. I don't care where, but they need to be available somewhere. I don't care if you have to purchase them. I don't care if you have to find them somewhere. They have to be available somewhere in the base game. The DLC stones that are coming with the seasons, they need to be available when we get Gen 10. Whatever Gen 10 is, that needs to be something that is available immediately. It needs to be a free. Maybe it should be a free update. And maybe it's something that you can only find these if you are in the DLC area, because some of, or maybe not all of them, but any of the ones that are specifically going to be for Pokemon that are only in the DLC, I can understand them wanting to make sure. Please make sure that they are available for people who have the DLC at the least. Because like Baxcalibur, you can't get Baxcalibur in the base game. So yeah. So any Pokemon that are going to be in the base game, they need to be available. Their Megastones need to be available in the base game. Any that are available that you get them from the DLC, they need to be available in the DLC. And yeah, those are my big things that I want to see them take care of.
That
but now
makes sense.
But now we can actually talk about the DLC. So we've seen the trailer, and there's going to be another thing later this week on Wednesday. I will be discussing that in my Wednesday stream most likely, which is going to be a Pokemon stream. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit about these things. So we're getting 2 new characters. Well, we're getting a new character and we're getting a returning character from X and Y. The returning character is obviously Karina. She looks older. She is definitely taking on the mantle of a Megastone user. And then we have the new character of Ansha, who I have some thoughts. But first off, I want to hear your thoughts. What do you think of the 2 characters? So
I think they look cool. Ansha kind of reminds me of the little girl from Scarlet and Violet.
the little girl from Scarlet and
On the
Violet?
Elite Four.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I'm forgetting her name too. Um, so yeah, but yeah, I love the character designs of both of these characters. One of the things that I've been seeing a lot of people talking about about Ansha specifically is that she looks like Diantha.
She does.
And I don't know how to feel about that. Maybe it has no connection whatsoever. But could you imagine if she is actually related to Diantha?
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. And another factor as well, and about Diantha, as well as just a lot of the gym leaders specifically, I want to see them in some way, shape, or form around the city. In fact, I would love to see most of the characters that were in X and Y just show up at some point. Obviously, we're getting Karina, and I'm so glad that we're getting her. She looks badass. She's gonna be a teammate, which is fun. But we should see some of the other characters like Clement, Bonnie, the other gym leaders would be fun. Diantha would be fun. Obviously, Sycamore would be awesome. Um,
Sycamore's probably dead by now.
why do you think Sycamore would be dead?
He was already kind of old.
He really wasn't. He's like one of the.
Was he not?
You're thinking of like Rowan or something.
No, that's
Sycamore
fair.
is like the young. I think he's like the second youngest of all of the. Of all of them, I think. Sycamore. Yeah, like he. Yeah, he doesn't even have like wrinkles. So yeah, he's like one of the youngest. Of all of the professors. I don't think. Yeah, let me see about the Pokemon professors. Let me see here. So, well, maybe not the youngest, because like Birch is pretty young. I would so Sonia is the youngest, obviously. Probably then is Kukui or Elm. Elm just feels young though. He feels really young. But then, yeah, I think like Kukui and Sycamore might be the same age. Birch also seems like he could be around their age. So like those three are probably around the same age. Maybe even Professor Juniper, but she feels like just a wee bit older than them, just due to her personality. And then Sada and Turo, I feel like they might be just a little bit older than them, because Birch Birch is May's father / Brendan's father, whoever you don't play as, and then Sada and Turo are what's his name's dad? What's his name's parents?
Arvin.
Arvin. Yes, thank you. So yeah, so those two. I feel like. So Kukui is so young that he and his wife are recently married in the game, and they aren't married in the anime. They get married in the anime. So he is really young. I'm thinking like at the oldest maybe 30s. I don't see Elm being older than like 25. But yeah. So yeah, Kukui at his oldest is like maybe in his 30s, early 30s. Do they even have the ages of these people? No, they don't. Okay, that's fine. But yeah. So yeah. Birch, Sada, and Turo, they might be in their 40s. Sycamore, he's kind of hard to put a distinguishing on. At the oldest, I could say he's 50. At the very oldest, and that's like because there's so little we know about him. And then Juniper would probably Juniper feels older than him just based on personality, but also like she's a very different person compared to him. So I honestly I don't see Sycamore being much being even close to 50. I think he's probably like 20s 30s. While Juniper, I feel like she's the oldest of the ones that don't look old. And then obviously like Professor Oak and Rowan are the oldest, with I think or the second oldest because Magnolia is the oldest, because I think she's like actually like confirmed to be 80 or something like that, because she's retiring. So, but yeah, Oak and Rowan are like the second oldest after Magnolia. Laventon, we have very little information about him, so about his exact age. but he seems like relatively young, but also not too old. But not that young. So, yeah. Um, so yeah, I would like to see some more from all of the different people from X and Y. That's what we were trying to talk about. Um, but yeah. So what about the power of donuts?
Yeah, that's interesting.
It is really interesting. Um, it also kind of makes sense because you have
Can you fucking do the thing?
there are so
Sorry,
many
I'm
berries in
taking
this
on
game.
color stuff.
Yeah, you're fine. There are so many berries in this game. Um, I don't know how many you've gotten, but like for me, like the really common berries, I have well over 100. Like the one that I have the most of is the orange berry, and I have nearly 200, and I hardly use them.
Yeah,
So
same.
I am really glad that the donuts are going to be using these because you get so many of these freaking berries, and I'm really hoping that they are going to actually give them a lot of good uses. Um, because really, berries aren't really that useful. Like they can be useful, they really can be, but at the same time, like unless you are, you know exactly what you're doing with them, you're probably not going to use them. And because there are so many held items in this game, you're probably not going to use them nearly as much. Because, like, obviously, any Pokemon that is able to Mega Evolve, you're most likely going to give it its Mega Stone. Most of the time. Not every single one, but a lot of them. And then the ones that are not able to Mega Evolve, we have, like, a ton of other items. Um, and almost all of them can be extremely useful in certain situations. Um, like you're probably going to be giving your Pikachu's light balls. You're probably going to give your Pokemon that are weaker the Eviolite. You're probably going to give some Pokemon, yeah, various different things for various different abilities. There's all sorts of different things with it. I'm not going to get into every single one, but being able to have there's so many berries, and there's very little use for them. And it's actually, I think there are several items that you will just pick up throughout the game with the little glowy shards that are all over the place. Those can be potions, those can be Pokeballs, and I don't think that they can even be Great Balls. I think they can only be Pokeballs for those. They can be berries, they can be the various different EXP candies, and they can be either tiny mushrooms or pretty feathers. Um, I think they can also be a few other items, but those are like the ones that I immediately think of. I think like they can be the mints. I think the mints can be there. I think some of the stones can be there. I don't think many other items can be on there, but yeah, in the constantly resetting things. But berries are the most prevalent, is my point. So yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with them. I do think that the little hint that they have at the bottom of that of their news article about the power of donuts with showing off the Omega and the Alpha donut. That's exciting. I'm so
Yeah,
ready.
that's crazy.
I'm so ready to see the yeah. It pretty much confirms that we are at some point going to be getting um Groudon and Kyogre at some way in some way, shape, or form with by doing the donut thing. um, I think that there are a few different possibilities for what the donuts can have. I think that a lot of what we can see in the images are basically just like standard donuts that are able to help out certain wild zones. But I also think that there is a decent possibility that there will be special donuts that will basically take you to versions of other regions. Um, or they might also be able to take you to face off against certain legendary Pokemon, or Ultra Beasts or Mythicals, and so on and so forth. I think that's what I feel is the big hint about the Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire donuts, because we don't have
That
any
would be cool.
Yeah, those. I think that each, not necessarily every single legendary and every single mythical is going to have their own specific donut. But it's decent. I think it's a decent possibility that each of them will have their specific donuts, and maybe their portal will basically stay open until you catch them. Um, and they'll just be there, and that's what that is the only purpose for those donuts. You will only use them once, um, and then so that'll be how you get like a lot of mythicals. That's how you're gonna get a lot of legendaries. Um, and not necessarily all of them. I don't think that we're going to be getting every single one of them, but I think that that's a decent possibility for a few of them. I also think that there could very likely be donuts for various different regions. Maybe one per region, and there will just be Pokemon from said region. They'll just be more prevalent, and then it's like a small area that kind of resembles a specific region. Um, exactly how it works, I don't know. I really don't. Because from what what we can see from the standard donut stuff, we will be able to get various different Pokemon from other regions in the various different wild zones, the various different hyperspace wild zones. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Um, but yeah, and what do you think of the mega evolutions that we've seen so far? For
I
the
think Halucha's fucking annoying.
no, I mean for the DLC. We already know about how you
Oh,
hate
I mean, I
Halucha.
like them. The Raichu ones are kind of bullshit. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I think everyone kind of agrees. Like one looks like Pikachu, and one looks like Raichu, but they are very weird. I
They
I
both
kind
look like Pikachu.
they look weird, but at the same time, I kind of love them just because they're so dumb. But also, I understand why a lot of people don't. I love the Raichus. I'm ready for them. I am so ready for them. Um, but yeah.
Stop fucking chasing me, you piece of shit!
But yeah, Trimeco and Baxcalibur though, because those two got revealed. What do you think of those?
I actually haven't seen them.
You didn't? I thought you watched the trailer.
I did watch the trailer, but I wasn't paying much attention.
Okay, I'm gonna send you the pictures of. The first one is Trimeco, and then copy image. The second one is Baxcalibur.
I've seen the Baxcalibur.
Yeah. What do you think of that one so far?
I do like it.
Fair. Okay, now what do you think of Trimeco? Because I did send that.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I kind of like that it looks like Chingling. Um,
It does.
and to be fair, Chingling is one of the weakest Pokemons there is. But I'm kind of here for it. I kind of like it. I think it's cute. Um, and I think they did. I think they did a good job with the Chimecho, um, Mega Evolution because it just it's cute. And I'm sure that we're probably going to get some two more revealed with the update, or with that is happening on Wednesday. But yeah. But that's pretty much everything for the DLC that we know of so far. Um, we should talk about Pokopia, though. So we're thrilled for Pokopia. I specifically am really thrilled with the look of Pokopia. It's so cute. Um, for the record, we love cozy games. We like them a lot. We play Stardew Valley pretty regularly. We'll just play Minecraft every now and again at like really relaxing pace. I played the crap out of Tales of the Shire. There's other cozy games that we've played. I'm trying to think of some of them. I can't right now though. But this is looking like it's gonna be a lot of fun. So yeah, um, there's not really much to discuss about it except that it's going to be very Minecrafty and very down to earth and cozy. Um, so one of the things that they recently revealed in the most recent trailer for Pokopia is that we're going to be able to transform into certain Pokemon, specifically Lapras and Dragonite. Do you think we'll be able to transform into every Pokemon? Or at least a Dittoized version of every Pokemon?
I don't know. That would be really cool if we could.
I think it would be cool. I don't think that we are going to be able to, specifically because a lot of them, I don't know, they feel like they are specifically just having you transform parts of your body.
I beat him!
You beat him? Yay!
Oh my god, after 6,000 tries.
Ay, ay, ay. But yeah, my theory as to what's going to happen with being able to transform into the various different Pokemon, if we're going to be able to at all, is that it may boost certain abilities. So let's say, I don't think that it's going to be first or second stage evolutions. I think it's only going to be final stage evolutions, if anything.
Fair.
Just due to that. So, what I think that they will do with the fact that you might be able to do that is that it will make certain abilities more powerful. So let's say, for example, you turn into Blastoise, just for an example. You'll be able to water a much larger area. Maybe if you transform into Excadrill, you're able to plow a massive area for your crops. And so on and so forth. I'm not exactly certain if that would be exactly how it would work or what. Maybe like there could be other Pokemon that you are able to turn into to fly, to swim, and various different ones will have different abilities. Because there's over 1,000 Pokemon. They have not confirmed every single Pokemon is going to be in this game, which is reasonable. There's no way that they are going to reveal that, oh yeah, you're going to be able to get like every single Pokemon, all 1,000 and whatever, in your game. What is it currently at? I don't even know. List of Pokemon by National Pokedex. One sec. We are currently at 1,025 is what we're currently at when it comes to number of Pokemon. That's not even including Mega Evolutions, by the way, or alternate forms or anything like that. That's just the frickin' number of Pokemon is 1,025. There's no way we're getting every single one of them in this game.
Yeah, no.
It's like they can't do that with the standard games. Like I think the most that we have seen is like 500 in a single game. And I don't even think that that's accurate. So, yeah. Well, technically, Pokemon Go has most of them at this point. Not all 1,000, but it has most of them. I don't think they have all the Paldean Pokemon yet. And I'm not certain if they have... I have no idea what Pokemon they do have, honestly. I haven't played Pokemon Go in forever. But, yeah, there's no way they're going to add it. In terms of the Pokemon that we have seen from the trailers and such, most of them are Gen 1. There's a few Gen 2s. I've seen pretty much one from every single generation, I think. Except for Gen 8, I think. I could be wrong about that. I very well might be wrong. But yeah, I was looking. I've been looking through it. I know I've seen at least one thing from all the way through Gen 5. I've seen some things from Gen 9. I don't think I've seen anything from. Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything from Gen 8. In the videos, but I think I saw something from Gen 6 and Gen 7. But it wouldn't have been much. So yeah. I think I don't know. So how do you feel about the 4 Pokemon that are special, or have you even noticed that?
I have not noticed that.
Okay. So I sent you the link to the Pokemon Pokopia website. So there are 4 Pokemon.
I heard about Professor Tangela
Tangrowth.
Tangrowth. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. So Professor Tangrowth. So that one we knew about. That was pretty much the whole focus of the most recent trailer. But at the end of that trailer, they actually revealed 3 more special Pokemon. Firstly, I think the first one that they revealed was Smear Guru, who's basically a Smeargle who is completely covered in paint. So I'm assuming that he's probably going to be drawing a lot of stuff for us. There was Mosslax, who is basically a mossy Snorlax. Appears to be asleep. There might be something with him. We have no idea anything about him yet. And then there is Pikachu. And I want you to look at the image. Pikachu. Peakychu. I want you to go to the website and look at him. It's going to be under the Discover tab when you go into when you go to the website.
Okay.
And it's the next one after Tangrowth.
Tangrowth. I'm not seeing anything on the website.
So you went to Tangrowth? So you went to Discover on the
Discover. No,
yeah, the Discover tab, and then scroll after Tangrowth, and you'll see Pikachu.
Oh, it's kind of cute.
Yeah, but it also looks ghostly.
It does.
And it kind of concerns me. It looks so sad, and just like pitiful, and I'm worried about it. Like, what happened to Pikachu? Like, Mosslax just looks like is slept in the same spot for so long that it eventually got covered in moss. The Smear Guru, that makes sense for a Smeargle. Smeargles get covered in paint all the time. Professor Tangrowth is just a really old Tangrowth who remembers when people in Pokemon were in the area. And then Pikachu just looks dead. And it's just like, what the heck happened? What is going on with Pikachu? I need to know. I don't know. He's so cute, and just like, or she's so cute, and I'm just like so worried that she's dead. Like, what happened? What happened to Pikachu? I don't know what to say. But yeah. I don't know. I really want to play Pokopia. I really do. It's unfortunately not going to be available until March, I think. Yeah, March 5th, 2026, which is after Pokemon Day. So,
True.
Yeah. Now, Granted, with that, um, that's not too long after Pokemon Day. Like what it is. So Pokemon Day is February 20 something. I think 26th. Is that right?
I think so. That
Pokemon
sounds right.
Day. Pokemon Day. Blah, 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 blah. February 27th. Yeah. So that's only what? Freaking 6 days later, I think. This year. Because, yeah, 28th. Yeah, 6 days later. So about 1 week after Pokemon Day, a little bit less, we get Pokopia. Um, which I'm, yeah. So we won't have long to wait for it. They probably won't talk too much about it during Pokemon Day because of the fact that it's going to be coming out. That they'll probably like briefly go over it and be like, "Hey, this is coming next week. Make sure you get it because it's gonna be a lot of fun." Um, and that's probably about as far as they're gonna go. They're probably gonna be doing a lot of like uh, press and stuff like that over the next few weeks and months, to basically be like, hey, check out this thing. And they'll just release a new trailer every now and again to be like, oh yeah, this is coming. Um, but it looks fun. It looks like a lot of fun. And I know that a lot of people are not necessarily too thrilled with it. Um, but also, it's not their cup of tea. That's just how it is. That's just how these things are going to work. Unfortunately. Um, but I think what's interesting to me. So when Pokopia did its first reveal of the fact that it's coming, they left the spots where Smearguru, Tangrowth, and Pikachu were completely empty. And granted, that's not a lot of spaces, but if you look over the entire picture, there's a lot of area that is just completely empty on the Pokopia picture. Um, which leads me to wonder, are there more Pokemon that have yet to be revealed? Specifically, like major Pokemon that are gonna have like special designs and stuff. Obviously, we don't see Moslax, but I think that's just because it's probably like always in a very specific spot. So this area is probably not. So like, Smearguru, Professor Tangrowth, and Pikachu will probably wander. They'll probably be going all over the place, while Moslax is probably going to be staying in a very specific spot. Um. So yeah, but there's so much space. Like, there's an area over by the Minccino that looks very barren. Um, well, honestly, most of the right side just feels really empty. There's like one spot on the left side of the picture that just feels kind of empty, and then yeah, just certain areas of the picture that they have just feels really empty. And people who are watching this video can also see this picture because I'm sharing it. Um, I'm not gonna say that the area behind the Pokemon Pokopia logo is gonna be filled, but they might because there's nothing behind there right now. Um, so yeah, um, but I don't know. I have to say, I am excited. Um, I think that it's also important to remember that there are. It looks like from the images that or the trailers that we've seen, we haven't seen much in terms of terrain development, but we know that it is a thing because the player has built paths, and mostly we see them like putting in the spots. Um, so I think that every single block is at some point going to be something that you are able to unlock as a move or an ability. Um, I'm assuming that we're still going to have to gather the resources in order to put any block down. except for maybe um, certain plant life. It might just be something where you have like your character has to be eating in order to be able to activate certain abilities. So maybe like if you want to place down leafage, you have to be eating a certain amount of food, because we know that food is a thing that is going to be in this game. Um, and yeah, so I don't know. There's a lot of things with it. There's a lot of like developing your relationship with the Pokemon around you as well, which I'm excited to see exactly how that's going to play out. Um, I I want to compare this game to Pokepark. Actually, what do you think about that comparison?
I think it's fair.
So yeah, because like Pokepark, you are a Pokemon, and you befriend other Pokemon, and like similarly, it also sounds kind of similar to Mystery Dungeon, but Mystery Dungeon was much more of a combat based thing, while Pokepark was not. So I think that, and this also feels like there might be combat, but they're also not mentioning it at all. So I don't think that there's gonna be combat in this game, um, in any way, shape, or form. Um, what do you think? Do you think there's gonna be combat?
Probably not.
Yeah. Um, it does look like it is gonna have a lot of being able to play with your friends, which I'm ecstatic for. Um, also, how do you feel about the key card situation?
What do you mean?
So it is not a cartridge, or it's not a standard Pokemon game, or a standard Switch game where you just take the card and then you're able to use it. And it's the entire game is on the cartridge. The key card is basically you put this into your game in order to play it, but you really don't need it. Because it's basically a digital download, and the entire game is basically on your system. And
Interesting.
it feels weird, and I don't like the key card system. Um, to me, what it feels like when they are doing the key card situation is that they are trying to appeal to people like me, who like to have physical games. But they are also doing it to basically make it so that people don't play it. I don't know. It feels like they're trying to push people more towards the digital versions with the game key cards, but they are also trying to still show people who really like physical games, like myself, that hey, you can still get this game as a physical game when it's really not. um, I'm not certain if I'm going what version of the game I'm gonna get, and that's actually like part of my debate right now that I'm having. In do I want to get the physical game, or do I want to get the key card because I like to have the physical version, or am I going to get it in the just have it be digital and then be able to play it whenever I want to if I'm on my system. Um, and I don't know. I feel like there are certain advantages and disadvantages to it, and I'm not gonna get into all of that right now. But yeah, it just feels weird to me. It really does. Um, so I don't know. I'm not gonna get into all of that. I think that there is one advantage. I think with the key card is that from what it sounds like, the key card can still be sold. So like if you want to sell it to if you want to trade it in or something like that, then you're able to do that compared to just digital downloading it. Or if you want to give it to somebody as like a present, that feels a little bit better. But I don't know. There's a lot of problems I feel with the digital with the game key card. And I'm hoping that this is not going to be something that is going to become more and more prevalent with Nintendo specifically, and that they're going to realize, yeah, this isn't the best idea. Let's just do digital or game cards. Um, and that's it. That should be it. There should not be anything else but those two things. It should not be a key card. The key card is dumb. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's weird to me because to a certain degree, it feels like the key cards appear to be basically for games that originally they intended to just release them as digital games, but hey, we can make a little bit more money if we sell them as a physical cartridge. That's how it feels to me. And that's just, I don't like that. I really don't.
Yeah.
And, like, not that I have a problem necessarily. I don't necessarily have a problem with digital games. Um, I think that digital games are fine. But it also feels, especially with this one, that they are doing it so that they can they can reasonably charge it at being the same price as a full price game, because it is a full price game. Um, it is $70, which is like, and considering the fact that it's 10 GB, that seems a bit excessive.
Yeah, it does.
So I don't know. I think that that is something that needs to be a. I'm. I probably will still get it because I really do like the game. It looks really cute, and I think that it's gonna be worth it for me. But if you're just like wanting to get the game as like, hey, I want to get the game and because it's Pokemon and I want to see what it's like, I would not necessarily recommend getting it right away. I would say wait for a deal, wait for it to be, because the thing is, I imagine, especially with the key cards, that they are probably going to be going for pre-owned pretty cheap pretty quickly, because most people are probably going to be wanting are just going to be like, yeah, give me the digital, it's the better option. So um I don't know, we'll see what happens. I think that I would not be surprised if people are like, yeah, I got the physical version because I thought that it would be fine, and then I realized that it's basically just the digital game, so I just want to return the physical game and get the digital, and I'll get the digital myself on Nintendo's website. Um, I don't know. We'll see how it works. Um, I I don't know. I do another thing. They did actually mention this in like one of the trailers. The various different Pokemon are actually going to be helping you. Um, which is kind of shocking. From what it sounds like, it's mostly like grass type Pokemon will make plants grow a little bit better. Water type Pokemon will water plants. Um, Maybe like the Drillburs and stuff, and other like ground type Pokemon will till the soils, um, and plant crops if you ask them to. The electric Pokemon will charge your various different electric things. Um, but it looks fun. It looks really exciting, and I don't know. I don't. There's. It's so early, and it's in the timeline for it that I feel like we have to wait until we see more information before we can say with full certainty that yeah, this is going to be a game that everyone's going to like. Um, but also, I think that there's a decent possibility that both of us are going to get this game pretty quickly.
Yes, definitely.
So yeah, and also it's going to be really fun to be able to play it with friends. Um, I'm hoping that it has a multiple world option. So, because personally, what I would like to do is have one world that is just my own thing, and I can just do whatever I want with it, and then another world where maybe like you and I can be playing it together on like nerds playing games or something. Would be
That would be dope.
It would be so fun. But yeah, those are some of our immediate thoughts. Um, I don't know. There's a lot that is going to be happening with this game though, and I'm ecstatic. And I'm hoping, like I said with Pokemon, that they're with ZA is that they're going to look at the feedback that they've been getting, and they're going to make improvements to the game. I haven't seen a lot of people saying what I've said about the, hey, could we get mounts, please? Or also, I haven't seen many people saying the petting thing. I would love to be able to pet my Pokemon. I don't care how, it doesn't have to be super detailed. It really doesn't. Like I said, it could literally just be oh, let me pet the air in front of me while the Pokemon is there, and then the Pokemon reacts. That's all. That is literally all I would like to see with that. So I hope that they will add that as like a free update thing with the DLC. And I hope that they actually. I hope there's a few different things that they will do with as a free update when the DLC launches, and we will be seeing more of this information soon. Like I said, the 19th is when we're going to be getting more information. So yeah, so Wednesday the 19th, we are getting more information about the DLC. But that does not mean that the 22nd is going to be that nerd chat. We're going to talk about whatever happened in that. There's no way we're talking about that because or not the 22nd, the 23rd is when these come out, is when it comes out. That nerd chat is going to be discussing the Game Awards because that is happening. The Game Awards are announcing their the nominees on Monday. So tomorrow for you guys, 2 days for us. So we will probably be discussing all of that next nerd chat. So look forward to that. What do you have any real quick predictions for that before we actually call this nerd chat?
No, I don't.
Okay. Fair enough, because there's really not much that we can predict with that, because we're not necessarily the quote-unquote pro gamers. But anyways, guys, hopefully you've enjoyed today's nerd chat, and are looking forward to everything that's happening in ZA, and are looking forward to what Pokopia has in store for us, because we certainly are. But anyways, guys, I've been Electro Ninja, he's been Jack, and we will see you guys next time. But on